Plug in, turn it up, and rock and roll.
Trying for the stunner, a rock and roll dance is up in time!
A rock and roll dance, power, toughness, and chart-topping speed.
A rock and roll dance is going to win it! 148-1 in the Meadowlands Stage.
A rock and roll dance, now standing at Diamond Creek Farm.
Derick Giwner along with Matt Rose here at DRF headquarters to talk about harness racing, of course. The first episode of the new year for the Harness Spotlight. We're going to look at a race from Cal Expo and a race at the Meadowlands. Both of them, coincidentally, are race 8. They both start a guaranteed pick 4. We're going to start on Friday at Cal Expo, and it is the $30,000 guaranteed pick 4. It's an open handicap, a nice field of 9 lined up, with the morning line favorite being Icy Blue Scooter.
All right, I know you're the Cal Expo expert here, so I'm going to try to ride your coattails here. Listen, this is a pretty competitive field. You have a horse, couple horses making their first or second start in some time. Horse shipping back from the East Coast, who made the most money in the field. Better's Promise, a 41 start workhorse last year, $76,000 in the bank, mostly the Yonkers. It makes for an interesting field. Horses that ran, the speed horses that have been the most consistent drew for the outside posts, which seems most logical, and they were the lukewarm favorites on the morning line. I'll defer to you, and I want to see if what you landed on is kind of what I landed on here.
I think the morning line odds maker actually did a pretty good job in this race. I mean, tabbing the right ones. Icy Blue Scooter was extremely good last week, just really sharp, and really sharp every week. He's won 4 out of 5 starts and 4 out of 6, excuse me, right? Is that 3 out of 6? I can't even see my PPs anymore.
How about 3 out of 5 with
3
2
out of
seconds?
5. Anyway, he's been really sharp since he's been here. He was absolutely superb last week. I mean, I'm an athlete, went to the lead, but he was like basically all out trying to get there. You know, there was no way he was winning that race. You could tell in the first quarter that I'm an athlete was not winning, and that Icy Blue Scooter probably was. I think he's got to be the way the race goes through. There are some other ones in here who you could choose as well. I mean, Gorgeous for Real was second behind them. He's clearly going to go to the front in this spot and looks like he should be in a good position. Maybe sit in a pocket again to Icy Blue Scooter here. Better's Promise is interesting in that 4 for 13 over this track last year, 3 for 17 the previous year, so clearly does well here. Though I think these East Coast shippers tend to need a start coming in.
That's what I was going to ask you. First of all, he's listed at 12-1 on the morning line, which is enticing. The horse has raced well. Obviously, I've seen him race all throughout most of the year. Last year at Yonkers, fits well at that $910,000 level. Comes back to the West Coast. I don't know how that form or class is going to translate here, but
once in a while they pop, but they tend to need one start, you know, to get into rhythm.
That's what I was gonna ask you what you thought of that, and I guess you can, you know, if you think he fits well here and you're getting a decent enough price, I guess he's certainly worthy of inclusion without a doubt. You got to take a look at Better's Promise. Let's put it that way.
Prodigal number 7's coming off a win, but that field was much easier. This is a much tougher spot. I mean, he's gone against the open types before, but I don't know. I didn't get the impression that he was ready to take on Icy Blue Scooter at this point. I think the 5 and the 6, Jasmanian Devil and YSY, who are both 12-1 on the morning line, either one of them is capable of given the right trip. I mean, Jasmanian Devil's making his second start back. You know, at one point was, you know, one of the top horses here at Cal Expo, did really well.
You know what? He's actually kind of the horse I'm leading against. I'm going to watch the board on this one and see if there are signs of life. Making his second start off a layoff. He came back. He hadn't raced since the beginning of September running aces. I like the 2 qualifiers, and the second qualifier much better and faster than the first one. Last week took no money. It was 20-1. Saved ground, but finishing 27-2 after saving ground, which is probably exactly what he needed off at 20-1. We'll see if he takes some money here, and if he takes some money, I think he may be a go for a decent barn and for a driver that's clicking around 25% or so. I say, you know what? If the board speaks to me a little bit, I think he's definitely worthy of inclusion, and he may well be my top choice here.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like I said, this is a $30,000 guaranteed pick 4 here. I'd be looking at using the 4 Gorgeous for Real, the 5 Jasmanian Devil, and my top pick would be the 8 Icy Blue Scooter. He's just been too sharp to go against, and I don't think he's going to be 3 to 5 in this spot. I think you still get 8 to 5 or like a reasonable price on him.
It's important. The 8 and 9 Icy Blue Scooter, I'm an Athlete, drew for those 2 posts, and I think I'm an Athlete landing far outside kind of seals his fate again. And yeah, I agree. The race does go through Icy Blue Scooter. I'm going to use him in my pick 4 ticket. Like I said, I'm going to take a look at Bettor's Promise, maybe throw him in there, and I'm definitely going to use Jasmanian Devil, especially. I would expect him to be more involved and take a little more action second start off the layoff.
Well, let's look at the Open at Cal Expo, which starts a $30,000 guaranteed pick 4. We're going to 1-up that or 2-up that to the Meadowlands on Saturday in race number 8, where we have a $50,000 guaranteed pick 4 kicking off. Another field of 9. You'll see there's a 1 and a 1A, so we have a little entry with some post positions listed next to them. And the morning line favorite here is it Belle I Know?
It could be Belle I Know, or it could be Bellino, named after his breeder. I'll go with Belle I Know, just since it's, I guess, split into 3 words. Yeah, this kicks off the 50,000 guaranteed pick 4 pool, which will have much more than that. I think they almost made $100,000 in last Saturday's.
They almost hit $3 million in total handle last week, which is nice, and hopefully they can get there this Saturday.
I want to say the pick 4 had like 99,000 or something close to it. It's a tough race to figure. I can't argue with the morning line favoritism going to Belle I Know, stepping up in class off just a solid front end blowout. This horse has kind of been a little bit erratic, but since shipping back to the big track it's like he found his stride immediately for his last 3 starts with Andy Miller driving. We have Joe Bongiorno listed back, driving for sister Jennifer Bongiorno. Certainly seems to prefer the mile track. I think you definitely have to use him. Horse I may lean towards, if the price is okay, is the 7 Stars in Heaven. I like Anthony Napolitano. He hooked up with this horse last week and was a pretty sharp 2-move winner. And home in 27, 150 flat. Figure he'll try to be forwardly placed here again. And this is a wide open race where it's hard to fall in love with anybody.
Stars in Heaven, the Jimmy Nickerson barn's heating up last week. I think he had 2 wins in 2 seconds in 8 starts, if memory serves. So that barn's heating up. I did go with the 6 Belle I Know, mainly because of speed, form, and all the other things. It's also in the sale, January 21st, the Meadowlands Winter Mix Sale. They're looking to capitalize on his current form and try to get a good payday out of this horse.
Well, you know what? His last 3 starts are definitely increasing his value at every sale. So.
I got to think it'll be live. Most horses from this barn tend to be pretty strong. I like the entry here as well with a Jeff Cullifer entry, Stone Dust and New Talent. I think New Talent is maybe the better of the 2 horses. I mean,
yeah, I'm not in love with Stone Dust, but New Talent is also another horse come off a sharp win out of the 10 hole. I believe it's Yannick Gingras' choice.
Yeah, Yannick chose the horse.
Okay, so that's obviously a big positive. Post 6 shouldn't be a major problem. He could be forwardly placed. You got to use him as well.
One thing I will say about Stone Dust before you move on, I mean, he's been racing in the preferred where most of these haven't, and those horses that he's facing in the preferred, I'm Some Graduate, I think it was G's Joe. Those horses would be 3 to 5 in this spot. I mean, they would definitely be the heavy favorites in here. So let's give him a little bit of a break for those 2 starts. Coming in, he had missed some time, his 3rd stop back. Maybe he's a little bit tighter. New driver, something. Even though we're going from a Hall of Famer to a non-Hall of Famer.
Dave Miller off is not.
I'm not saying Dave Miller. Sometimes just a different set of hands. Sometimes even my set of hands behind the bike might not be a bad idea.
Let's not get carried away, shall we?
Sometimes it works.
So about 18 years ago, I think.
I think the Cullifer, trainee is certainly worth a look. Mind Trip is number 3. He's been really sharp. He's another horse. He's the other horse in the race that's in the sale. So I'm sure he's going to be looking to come out with a strong effort. George Brennan is driving, so you got to assume he'll be handled aggressively.
Minister of Speed.
Yes.
The only knock on Belle I Know is he's missed some time. His last start was December 14th, so he's off 3 weeks. My top choice, Stars in Heaven, really has a recency edge on most of the field here. Having raced in 1 last week, maybe that works to his advantage. The horse we didn't even mention out of the 10 hole, Consistently Sideways A, one of these down under shippers.
It was constantly sideways.
It could be constantly. Yeah, Consistently Sideways. We can, you know what, we'll call up, give your buddy Ken Markington a call. Maybe he can or bring up one of his replays, see how he called the horse.
Regardless, the horse is pretty sharp. The only problem is
10
post
posts, 10 posts, and has not really shown much speed. He can rally for a piece, but I think you use him underneath. So if I'm playing a pick 4, yeah, I'm going to use New Talent. Yeah, I'm going to use Stars in Heaven. He'll get my check mark, so to speak. I'll throw in Bella, I know, but I'm going to try to look to beat him. But yeah, it should be a fun race, kicking off the 50,000 guaranteed pick 4, $21,000 preferred feature on the card. Who was your top choice? Bella,
I know is going to be my top choice. I'm certainly using the Jeff Cullifer entry of 1 and 1A Stone Dust and New Talent. I'm not sure if I use any others, but those two will definitely be on my ticket for the $50,000 guaranteed pick 4. And that's a look at a couple of races this weekend. We hope you have good luck.